Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune earn about $125 million in annual profit for parent company Sony. And joining us now to discuss what happens next, Cynthia Littleton is co-editor-in-chief of Variety. Cynthia, I think there's potentially big ramifications here. You could say for the parent company in terms of the cash flows, you know, if we sort of assume or speculate that viewers could really tune out. I also think there's implications for linear TV, given that this is one of the last sort of scheduled TV events. You know, in my own family, my grandfather, my dad, everybody, they sit together in front of the TV and they watch this. And who knows what happens after Pat and Vanna, you know, if they end up handing over the reins as well. And you have this major transition, Cynthia. Do you think it's a risk here?
I think very much so. This whole drama that nobody could have predicted around Jeopardy has certainly been a black eye for Sony Pictures, the producer and primary owner of Jeopardy. But it has also, in another way, it has reinforced how much America and the world loves this show, feels invested in this show, and felt invested as if the fans should and will have a say in the final search for the final permanent host in this situation. It's really an extraordinary kind of outpouring that kind of just reflects all of the cross currents in media right now.
What happens if just 10 or 20% of the viewers that have been tuning into these two series go away? I mean, talk us through the implications.
Well, as you mentioned, I mean, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune are one of the few they've transcended TV shows at this point. They're kind of institutions. They're part of the fabric of TV. They're one of the few Monday through Friday shows that reliably draw millions and millions of viewers, particularly live viewers, which in a world of fragmented viewing and on-demand and streaming, something that draws a big crowd on a regular basis has real value to advertisers. So there's significant risk here for Sony Pictures and CBS, which also owns a portion of Jeopardy.
Yeah, and as a colleague of ours I was talking to the other day said, you know, this just gives me an excuse not to watch. So from their point of view, what's the best way to kind of smoothly deal with the situation and make sure that you're not permanently alienating a whole generation, perhaps, of viewers?
It's tricky. It's absolutely tricky. And this whole process has shown how hard it is to pass the baton from a beloved host like an Alex Trebek. I think they go back to the drawing board on some level. They had a long run of guest hosts starting in January, including CNBC's own David Faber, who did rate very, very highly on many of the fan surveys. I think they go back to, they have a pool of people that have had on-air editions. I do think they cast a wider net this time and look outside of that pool of guest hosts. But it is no question a lot of scrutiny on this process, even more so than the first time around. And that definitely has to raise the stakes and the tension for the people that are calling these shots.